Hello everybody, real quick video here. Welcome to my channel. I want to talk today about starting that perfect vinyl collection. Now, vinyl is making a comeback and every new slot music is released on it at some point. 180 grams seems to be the popular, but when you're starting a record collection, sometimes it's a journey of exploration. You always got to take somebody with you that knows stuff about these artists and imprints. So your records come in two major sizes, and let me get them here. So your records come in two major sizes. You got your 12-inch long play record. This is Rupert Holmes. You should never handle them how I handled them, because now I'm going to have to clean it because I got my oil in the groove. So you always should hold it by the edge and label. And then your other one is your 45 or your single. This one happens to be Gary Portnoy, theme from Cheers. So sometimes it's about finding what you like. Sometimes it's about going on a musical journey and just picking up stuff you maybe haven't heard in a while or stuff you've never heard before. So you want to start with, we like flea markets. You know, this is Rupert Holmes, Partners in Crime. Great record. If you could pick it up and find it. I found this one at a flea market. You could go into Walmart and, they have a selection of vinyl. Most of it's new, but sometimes you could find old stuff. Like I found Prince's Purple Rain on picture disc. Now that's real creative stuff. Limited editions and stuff like that. I also have another limited edition I want to show you, if I can find it. Limited editions are nice. Also, go to Record Store Day, because, even if you don't have a vinyl shopping buddy like I do, you can pick up limited editions. Like this little guy. This particular year, I went to Record Store Day by myself, and I picked this up. This is a limited edition. This is Queen's Bohemian Rhapsody, and then I'm in Love with My Car on the back side. But this is a limited edition special for Record Store Day. I could buy a lot of records with $12, or you could buy one limited edition. Sometimes they're more than this. This was $12 because the price tag's still on it. I got it at the exchange for Record Store Day. It's a limited edition, Record Store Day. So limited editions are nice. But when you're starting that vinyl collection, you want to think about what you want to play it on. I steer people away from the suitcase type record players. Some people love them. And, if you're just enjoying a little bit of vinyl, you're going to be okay. But the tracking force on those things are ridiculous. So I recommend, finding something vintage. Because vintage, you're not going to lose your shirt on. I have a Technics 1970 model direct drive turntable. I also have a couple Stanton DJ decks that I have in my DJ company, but those aren't really good for playing records. Also, with the suitcase type record players, I don't call them turntables because they're record players. You get away with one of them. If you like tinny sound. Me, I like to have a hi-fi. I have a Pioneer VSX 3700 that I have my Technics vintage turntable hooked to. And, but I mean, you could get away with one. I mean, you could go into FYE and, drop a couple $100 on a one with a counterweighted tone arm. I like those the best because You can set them up how you like them. You could get, you know, your scale on there, and you could really tweak with the counterweight and your anti, well, they call it anti-skating on the vintage, but that's tracking force. You know, and you can set the, you don't never set the needle on them. Put the needle cover on the cartridge, because they don't weigh that much. You know, you're looking at a, you know, plus minus of a half an ounce, so you could pretty much get it close. So when you have a sizable amount of money in your record collection, you don't want to destroy it. And that's what the Crosleys and, you know, these other type of suitcase record players. So I don't usually recommend them, especially if you have specific, you know, that's what a lot of the 180 gram vinyl, I believe, is for, those cheapy type players. You can, when you're thinking about your, and I really got a very little bit of time to do this, when you're thinking about, you know, your turntable, there's a couple vintage ways you could go. You could go with an automatic record changer. My grandfather had one of those back in the 70s, and I could stack the records on there. And usually they would only touch by the label, because the label was the highest part on it, so it would keep the grooves apart in the stack. But then they would drop them with such force, and you drop them on a record that's spinning and drop a stationary record. You know, they're all right. You know, my vinyl shopping buddy has an automatic, a BSR. I had one when I was a kid. It was great. Of course, 2 record sets or 3 record sets weren't really, you know, unless you got the high-end stuff. But I probably got, I don't know, maybe a couple hundred, maybe $250 I've spent on my record collection, but most of it I buy secondhand. Flea markets are a good place. If you're in Ohio, if you're in my area of Ohio, I recommend Treasures. There's like 3 people in there that sell vinyl. They also buy it, but they buy it so then I can buy it from them, because I got a ton of vinyl over here. So starting that record collection, start with the stuff you like. You know, if you're an Adele fan, go to Walmart, drop $22 on an Adele record. That'll give you at least a start. I wouldn't recommend spending $20 for everything, or $25. Walmart's ridiculous. I mean, even when a 12-inch like this sold new, they were about 10 songs on here. They would record about 20, pick the 10 best to go on here. And you really only had a certain amount of time you can cram onto one of these things. So you had to pick sparingly. But start with the stuff you like. Find, you know, in amateur radio we call people that are knowledgeable Elmers. Brian is my Elmer, because he's got a sizable record collection. And he's not in my age group. He's younger. So having somebody that can, you know, give you ideas, recommend songs when you know, maybe you don't know about that song. But a lot of my 45s, my 7-inch collection was all recommended by Brian. If it was something I didn't know, something I was specifically looking for, like The Sweet, I knew those songs because I had them as a kid. So, you know, I don't need a knowledgeable person, but, you know, they'll say, like, I bought a Supertramp record I never heard before, based solely on my Elmer's recommendation. And it was good. But first thing, avoid cheap turntables when you're starting your collection. Start with the stuff you like. Then, Record Store Day is a good place to meet people who know about the hobby, and you could talk with them. You could go through. I recommend the Exchange too. At least the ones here do carry vinyl, new stuff, as well as secondhand stuff. I wouldn't buy a new record from them because they want like $50 for them, and I could spend $20 in there and walk out of there with 5 12-inches or 20 45s, depending on the title. But starting that perfect record collection, I recommend start with the stuff you like. Find somebody that knows about it, and you could build your collection from there. I had them as a kid because they were vinyl was the way to get things when I was a kid, or cassette or reel-to-reel. But my dad stuck with vinyl because he could record it to cassette. Double cassette decks weren't as popular in the 70s as you can get them anywhere and fix them. But that's all I have for now. Thanks for watching. If you hit that like and subscribe down below, it'll recommend these videos to other people. And thanks for watching. Also check out the Refractor, which is the one right before this one. That's a movie my friend Chauncey was in, and he's also a vinyl collector. And y'all have a great day.